Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
He disappeared? In the safe room, Barlow's eyes burst. Lost goal, lose goal. How is this possible? Is it a mirage? We shouldn't be dreaming. Only dreams can explain all this. The fighter pilots have always been at high altitude, and they can even see Yi Bei with naked eyes. However, Yi Bei disappeared under their noses. At this moment, they all felt bad. Hurrah! It turned out to be a dream. Let me just say, our US is invincible. What monsters, even if aliens come, our US can defeat them. Peter was covered in cold sweat, and his clothes were soaked in sweat. When Yi Bei disappeared, he seemed to be crazy. He suddenly laughed, and the voice in his mouth was extremely excited. Quincy took a cigarette out of his pocket, wiped the cold sweat on his forehead, and said with a lingering fear, "We are still alive. Great, I thought I was dead just now." Only when these people are all excited and cheering. Those heads of state who monitor here through satellites are completely different. The Python has become smaller, so fast. Entered the aircraft carrier. Have you seen it? He has begun to attack humans. The British Prime Minister stared at the computer, and when he spoke, he stretched out his hand in front of several technicians. Yelled excitedly. So fast. The body can become bigger and smaller, while the body ignores the attacks of armor-piercing bullets, rockets, and artillery shells. In addition to having wisdom, this guy is completely beyond us humans. No matter what it is crushing. Sexual transcendence. The Russian emperor narrowed his eyes slightly. When he looked at the American soldiers who were excited on the aircraft carrier, he only felt very sad. These people don't seem to realize that death is approaching them. If in the East China Sea, every mutant beast has this speed and the ability to become bigger and smaller, it will be a matter of time for the Earth to be completely occupied, unless we die with those mutant beasts and use nuclear power directly. Wash the floor. The head of the Chinese nation, in front of the other 8 gentlemen, spoke seriously. After listening, the 8 old gentlemen were silent. Yi Bei is very strong, very powerful. In fact, the 100 nuclear bombs before can already explain everything. Get on the was. Huh? Peter was still laughing. Only half of the laughter came out, and the sound was cut off. His body was stunned, and his whole body was chilly. A silvery white shadow flashed by his side. The next moment, his body broke in half from the middle. Flesh and blood fly. Peter, we won. Quincy took out a cigarette, ready to share one with Peter. It is a pity that the moment he passed the cigarette, he only felt his body warm, and then he saw the red blood splashing all over his body. Gulyalu. Before he even screamed, his throat hurt, and the blood spurted out of it unstoppable. His eyes widened, and he couldn't figure out why he died until he died. Whoosh whoosh. On the aircraft carrier was, the breath of death is spreading. In the face of these human attacks, Yi Bei turned on the bullet time. His body became the smallest form, and then at that extreme speed, he directly rushed into the aircraft carrier. All human beings who stand in the front. All Americans. Yi Bei did not hesitate to kill. On the back, the spine stretched out, as if it was the sharpest blade in the world, wherever the body passed. All humans who approached were cut in half. Chi 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 chi. 10, 20, 50. As a soldier fell on the aircraft carrier, the sky, fighter pilots, finally reacted slowly. Something happened. The monster is still alive. I remember it very clearly. He seems to have the ability to grow bigger and smaller at will. Look at it. Many of the partners on the aircraft carrier have all fallen down. There is blood everywhere. After the monster became smaller, it began to attack the aircraft carrier. Fake, what should we do? If we continue to attack, we will attack our own aircraft carrier. The fighter pilots reacted and shouted. With eyes wide open, they watched the death of an American on the aircraft carrier, but they were completely helpless. In the safe house, Barlow also reacted. It's over. It's dead. This monster can breathe fire, can grow bigger and smaller, and can control a living tree. It's over. As the commander-in-chief, Barlow has no choice, and at this time, a lot of information about Yi Bei appeared in his mind. I used to think that was a fantasy, but now that he saw the real situation, he felt as if his heart had fallen into the bottom. Wow, cool. For a while, there was no idea in my heart. I could only watch my subordinates being slaughtered one by one. In this case, it shouldn't destroy the aircraft carrier. As the price of destroying the island nation of the United States. I took this aircraft carrier away. It's not too much. It's just that this aircraft carrier alone is not enough. I found the 51st district that Tony said, hoping that it has what I need. Chi. eBay spit out the letter. The body still keeps moving rapidly. To slaughter these American humans, he didn't feel any pressure at all. While speaking in his mouth, eBay's speed accelerated again. 100. 500. The American soldiers on the aircraft carrier are all like weeds. As eBay's back continues to pass, there was a strong smell of blood in the air. Just buzzing. Just as eBay was slaying wildly, he suddenly felt a buzzing in his head, and an uneasy feeling arose. Ah! And those American soldiers on the aircraft carrier stretched out their hands one by one, covering their ears and making horrible screams. The ears, the nose, and the eyes were all bloodshot. Sonic weapons. This kind of weapon will cause certain damage to the host, but it is too weak. If it is stronger, it may really kill you in an instant. The system answered calmly. Sonic weapons? Looking at the reactions of the humans around him, Yibei's eyes lit up slightly, and he became interested. As a human being, Yibei always felt that nuclear weapons were the strongest weapons in the world. But the emergence of deadlight weapons and sonic weapons made Yibei concealed that major countries in the world have always concealed their strengths. Correct. Since you want to play, then play with them. His eyes condensed. Yibei's killing intent increased sharply again. The United States, in the city. In a luxurious office. Ben, wearing a suit and tie, sat in the office with a gloomy expression. From the time when the mutant beast was discovered on the experimental island. Then to the Atlantic incident, the Sahara incident, the 100 nuclear bomb incident, the China-East China Sea incident, and the island incident. His knowledge of mutant beasts has become clearer and clearer. Damn it, I was wrong from the beginning. This kind of monster has no research value at all. The best way is to destroy it. Only by killing them completely can the world recover. Staring at the computer, Ben cursed fiercely. Since the facts about the mutant beast were made public, the whole world is messed up. The economy collapsed. Disorder. In the past, the Ben that had the wealth of the enemy's country went bankrupt directly. The money was all like white paper, and the money in the bank was just a bunch of numbers. Now, he is more eager than anyone that all orders will be back on track. It must be concealed, and the truth must be concealed. Fortunately, at this point, the government has been working hard, but there are too many people who know the truth. Think of a way and continue to think of ways. His eyes were red, and his voice was trembling constantly when he spoke. His attitude is completely opposite to the beginning. And while speaking, Ben was constantly searching for the latest news, for fear that there would be videos on the internet that the king of the mutant beasts was already invading the US and the USS was. It's just that the more worried you are, the more you will come. I just clicked on a portal site. A video popped up. It was a high-definition video from the war between USS Was and Yibei. Where did this video come from? Is this website crazy? After seeing this video, Ben jumped directly from the seat with a splash, his eyes bursting. The video is huge. There are even speakers. The narrator did not show his face. But the voice is very pure American accent. Everyone, what you are seeing now is the scene of mutant beasts at war with our US aircraft carrier Was. There is no doubt that, as you can see, those monsters have already begun to attack our US country. Just now, this monster used the ability to grow bigger and smaller. Yes, it's incredible. It hit countless physicists and biologists in the face, but this is the truth. The narrator even analyzed Yibei's ability little by little. Ben, seeing this, his complexion was green and white. Wow. After standing up, his hands did not stop, searching for the most famous news websites in the US at the fastest speed. This monster is invincible. There is a metallic luster on his surface. Still the voice of the narrator. Humans will eventually pay a heavy price for their actions. The female commentator's voice was a bit sad. 1, 5, 10. I opened 10 websites in a row and found that all the videos were hanging. Hacker, it must be a hacker. Damn, someone wants to completely collapse the order of mankind. This is speeding up the destruction of mankind. Ben roared. Almost instantly, he could see the key point. In fact, it wasn't just Ben who discovered the truth. What's the matter? Who did it? Damn it. If this continues, the Me Congress will be completely messed up, and then all humanity will be ruined. Check immediately, and if it is not clear, cut off all networks directly. It really doesn't work. Please break all the circuits in the United States for me. If something happens, I will be responsible. Bang, bang, bang. When the major news websites were invaded, the first thing that reacted was the U.S. National Security Agency, where many security personnel were all dumbfounded. After recovering, the sound of tapping the table with their hands continued, and various shouts. It is also nonstop. In addition to this department, the most nervous is the bosses of those news websites. Dead. This time we are dead. Isn't it forbidden to broadcast this kind of news? What do you want to do? This kind of time is not a time of freedom of speech. It is meant to kill me. Those bosses, without exception, after angrily swearing such words, the next time they all tried to escape at the fastest speed. However, when they went to the airport or the station, they were sadly reminded. It was discovered that the entire country of the United States was under lockdown and no one had a chance to leave the country. Some parties were frightened and furious. But there are also a group of people. It's a completely different situation. Continue to hack other high-traffic news websites. The beast god is already attacking the country. It will not be long before the whole world will return to the arms of the beast god. Not only invaded the United States, but also the world's networks, but also invaded simultaneously. Only the human world is completely invaded. Chaos. This speed can be increased. The person who said this was an old man in casual clothes. At this moment, holding an encrypted phone in his hand, his expression was extremely excited. Yes, Patriarch. We have mobilized everyone's strength. Patriarch, as long as we complete the mission this time, can we return to the civilization of the beast god? I'm really looking forward to it, everyone. Continue. We must maximize the impact and remember to discredit humans more and exaggerate the strength of the beast gods, and at the same time explain the benefits of some beast gods after they rule the earth. This encrypted phone, just like a walkie-talkie, can allow a group of people to communicate without barriers at the same time after adjusting the frequency. And this special frequency, only the lost race people know. The old man in casual clothes is the lost patriarch who came to the human world from the Lost Island. This time the king directly attacked the United States. Although he is the only one, this is definitely enough. As long as this mission is successfully completed, I promise to take everyone to find the king. The voice of the head of the Lost Clan was extremely firm. Yes. 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 Belief is more terrifying than mental power control. This kind of thing that comes from the soul and from the depths of the heart allows the Lost Tribe to exert unprecedented power at this time. As the first batch to use the evolution potion, and it is also the finished potion given by Yi Bei, the wisdom of the Lost Tribe is far beyond ordinary humans. When these people go crazy, the major news portals around the world have no resistance at all. 3 minutes later, all over the world, all human beings who are watching news on the internet have discovered the video of the collision between Yi Bei and Wazi. Moreover, this video also spreads as human beings continue to self. At least nearly 2 billion people around the world are watching at the same time, and Yi Bei's massacre of humans on the Wazi aircraft carrier is also very clear in the eyes of these people. China, the capital. In a bedroom in a luxury resort, Yi Shan is sitting on the sofa, holding a tablet in his hand, reading the latest news. Since the accident in the East China Sea, he has been sent here by the state as an elite. Although the living environment is not bad, no worries about food, but there is no longer the luxurious life before. Damn mutant beasts. Humans have ruled the earth for so long. Sooner or later you will all die. Scrolling through the news, Yi Shan said angrily. Okay. However, when he opened the TX news casually, a video popped up immediately. And the video is still live. After the snake turned into a small state, it began to massacre the people on board the Wazi aircraft carrier. The scene was chaotic, but from my personal point of view, it is a pity that this happened, but I can understand the struggle between races. There has never been a distinction between good and evil. When human beings dominate, they raise countless animals as food. Along with the video, there is also a very standard narrator in Mandarin. Moreover, when commenting on the video, it is entirely intentional or unintentional to pull the mutant beasts between the races, so as to subtly change the human attitude towards it. This impact is extremely terrifying. Even Yishan was almost brainwashed when he heard this. Humans are humans. They are the overlords on Earth. They are the highest level creatures. It is wrong to compare those monsters with humans. What are these websites trying to do? Don't you be afraid to catch them all afterwards. After regaining his senses, Yishan stood on the human side and cursed fiercely. Puff. However, this sentence just fell. The video on the computer changed. I saw a silver-white shadow flashing past, and then a U.S. soldier's head was cut off by this shadow on the spot. Puff puff. Bright red blood splashed around. Dong dong. When the head fell on the ground, it still made a bang. This video was definitely processed by someone deliberately. This scene was extremely clear, and it was even possible to clearly see the desperate face and wide-eyed eyes of the dead American soldier. Death, terror, haze. Without any special effects processing, the high-definition picture looks too real and too shocking. What? After seeing this screen, Yishan yelled and threw out the tablet computer in his hand. It was not because of the death of the American soldier, but when Baiying beheaded the soldier, a certain moment, Yishan happened to see a pair of cold eyes through the video. Those eyes seemed to point straight into Yishan's heart, causing his soul to have fear. Yishan is just one of these billions of people. U.S. No one can resist the soldiers on the aircraft carrier. The senior officials of the major countries were all stunned when they saw this video. In their hearts, the United States has always been extremely domineering, and its military power is even the world's top, and its military personnel are even more invincible. In the previous Sahara incident, because of the nuclear bomb, it was impossible to face up and reveal anything. Now it's different. These American soldiers, in front of a mutant python, have no power to counterattack. This has caused endless fear among the top leaders of major countries. It's over. Compared to that monster, human beings are not at the same level. Those who say these things are basically some netizens who like to play games. In their eyes, Yi Bei is a full-level boss. As for human beings, they are all just a group of small soldiers who have just reached the first level. Reminds me of Alien, but this monster is much more terrifying than Alien. A fan of science fiction movies. On the internet, such voices are constantly being heard by all kinds of people. However, one thing is exactly the same. These hundreds of millions of people were all frightened by Yi Bei's crazy behavior, and they were deeply aware of the terrible mutant beast. On the aircraft carrier was. Yi Bei's massacre continues. Puff puff puff. Chi chi. Bright red blood is everywhere, and the smell in the air is even more intense. Wow. In the air, a large number of fighter jets hovered. Every one of those pilots looked pale, no matter how good their mental qualities were. At this time, when driving a fighter jet hovering in the air, it would appear chaotic, as if it might fall down at any time. On one side is a silver-white python, slaughtering his comrades frantically. On the other side, the venue is on the USS Wazi aircraft carrier. Once attacked, it will inevitably cause damage to the aircraft carrier. Fighter pilots struggled like never before. Shoot, shoot directly. Just when they were at a loss, Barlow's voice suddenly reached every driver's ear through the headset. Okay, just... Before these drivers had time to press the launch button, their eyes suddenly stared, and an extremely painful sensation rose in their minds. The next moment, there was blood overflowing from the nose, eyes, ears, and even the corners of the mouth. His head is groggy, feeling weak. This is what's wrong. So painful. What's going on? Gurulu. These drivers didn't know what was going on. When such sounds were transmitted through the headsets, it was only an instant that all the drivers' bodies twitched crazily, and even the pores began to seep blood. Booming. Boom, boom, boom. Fighters that lose control will either collide in the air and turn into fireworks, or it will show a diagonal line directly towards the aircraft carrier WAS and fall into the sea. What's going on? Those fighters, Why are they all destroyed automatically? What about the pilots inside? Such a scene stunned the military experts around the world, and then they went to study whether this was Yi Bei's latest force. But soon, a new situation has emerged. Oh, you guys, look at it. On the aircraft carrier, many people were obviously not attacked, but their bodies were spraying blood. What's the matter with that sea area? The seawater was clear blue just now, but now it seems to be turning red. It must be the latest weapon. The white python stopped. What's the matter? After the sonic weapon attacked in the 51st area, the real super massacre occurred on the Wazi aircraft carrier. On the internet, countless people watching the video, their eyes widened, and they were extremely puzzled. This weird situation is really incredible. All human beings die for no reason. If the cause is not understood, it is estimated that these billions of people will not sleep well. The United States, the West, the deep sea is 2 kilometers, and the 51st zone. Successful, this time must be successful. Almost all the places where the sound waves have struck, all lives died, directly destroying their nuclei, and the fish died countless. Even the fighter pilots in the air died. I don't believe it. The python can still live. President Golden Retriever clenched his fists. The scene that looked like apocalypse and the countless dead American soldiers did not make him feel distressed at all. Instead, because of the deaths of these people, he felt that the sonic weapons had worked, and he was full of excitement and excitement. On the aircraft carrier was. The number of American soldiers killed by Yi Bei did not exceed 1,000. But this sonic weapon kills all soldiers, and nothing survives. Even Barlow, who hid in the safe house, was bleeding from 7 holes and fell to the ground, his face full of hideousness and terror. The transmission of infrasound and ultrasonic waves ignores obstacles and is extremely destructive. Click, click. When humans died drastically, the huge Wazi, in the aggressiveness of these sound waves, even made a clicking sound, as if it might disintegrate at any time. From the video, the python is still on the deck of the Wazi, but all the lives around it have died, and it hasn't moved now. The possibility of death is very high. Morpheus gritted his teeth, his eyes also full of expectation. It must be successful. Kill that monster. As long as it can be verified that this sonic weapon is effective. The weapons we researched in the 51st district are absolutely terrifying. The monster will definitely die. If you die like this, it would be too boring. In addition to this weapon, our biological department has also studied a lot of powerful biological and chemical weapons. I am also going to let those monsters taste it. Many scientists in the 51st district said one after another. Online, senior leaders of major countries, and billions of people watching videos. Facing this sudden scene, none of them understood what happened. Wong, why haven't you moved? On the Lost Clan side, all the clan members have such voices in their minds. There seems to be some kind of weapon, and it still ignores the enemy and me. Many humans have died. Some netizens spoke out. Is this the latest weapon of the United States again? How much does the United States hide? Check, find out immediately, and prepare a plan to deal with this weapon. The heads of the major countries continued to growl. 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds. Time passed quickly. However, these 10 seconds are extremely long for all mankind. Was. Click, click. Sonic weapons have damaged this aircraft carrier so much, countless metals smashed apart, and all human beings died. The fighter jets in the air kept falling. As for Yi Bei, the body was entangled on the deck of Wazi, without moving. In his mind, several data are constantly beating. Vitality value, 35. Body damage value, 22. Mental strength, 19. The sonic weapon is very strong, very powerful, and can directly destroy the cell nucleus, causing huge damage from the inside to the outside. When these numbers are beating, Yi Bei also has great fear in his heart. Once a certain item of data becomes 0, the consequences will be unimaginable. Even at this moment, Yi Bei felt that the power in his body was going crazy. Is the system really okay? Can't this weapon hurt me? Yi Bei couldn't help asking. The field of mental power has always been at its peak, and he dared not take it back at all. With this ability, Yi Bei could even clearly see the countless cells in his body, which were constantly breaking down. Every cell is like a small planet. In the face of sonic impact, the planet exploded. But Yi-Bei also possesses superb recovery ability, and at the same time it explodes, many cells are constantly reorganizing. The body does not feel any pain. The nerves seem to have stopped working. Don't worry. Before this weapon is launched, I have calculated that its strength is not enough to cause fatal damage to the host. On the contrary, while destroying the host cell nucleus, it will allow the host's body to undergo a comprehensive transformation. The system answered calmly. Destroy the cell and transform it. Yi-Bei asked, this concept is really new. Don't break or stand. After all, the host has evolved a little bit from an ordinary blood python. The body has undergone tremendous changes, but the essence is the blood python, destroying the cell nucleus, using the regeneration ability, and repairing it again. This is transformation. Oh, hearing this, Yi-Bei understood a little bit. Ignoring the collapse of the USS was. Ignore the falling fighters. While Yi-Bei was entrenched, he gathered all his mental energy and began to observe the internal conditions of his body. Chi blood value, 10. Body damage value, 8. Mental power, 5. The number behind this meant that Yi-Bei's remaining value was obviously already very low. When the number reached this level, bright red blood overflowed on the surface of Yi-Bei's body. The original white body slowly turned dark red. Under the spiritual strength, Yi-Bei found that every time the cell nucleus in his body exploded, after reorganization, it seemed to become stronger. The genetic chain entwined with golden lines is also constantly broken and reorganized, and then becomes stronger. 20 seconds. 30 seconds. In the sky, the satellite adjusts the focus to the highest resolution. 51 district. I found that snake, Chief Morpheus. Have you seen it? That snake is done. He used to have a silver-white body, but now he is all red. He must be the same as those people. Blood spilled from the pores. Come out. And he hasn't moved yet. He must be dead. President Golden Retriever yelled, his eyes filled with excitement and excitement. Yes, it succeeded. But this is just the beginning. Your Excellency, as far as we know, there are still a large number of mutant beasts in the East China Sea of China. In order to maintain world peace, since this time we have taken the initiative to attack, it is better to directly attack the East China Sea over there with sonic weapons, and directly erase that peace completely. Murphy's voice was cold and murderous. In the eyes of Morpheus, the more than 10 million people still alive in Donghai City are all just victims. Okay, then attack the East China Sea now? Take the opportunity to destroy them all. With this kind of weapon, even if China is dissatisfied, there is no way. President Jean mouthed. Just when they thought it was a real victory, on the Wazi, the blood-red Yi-Bei began to undergo other changes. Food. 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 I need a lot of food. Devour. Constantly devouring. The body's blood value, damage value, and mental strength all dropped to 1 point. An unprecedented sense of hunger swept through Yi-Bei's body crazily. Under the sonic weapon, all the cells of Yi-Bei's body have undergone rebirth. In the past tens of seconds, immense energy has been consumed. However, the cells after rebirth are at least 10 times stronger than before. As long as all the values are filled up, Yi-Bei believes that his overall strength will take another qualitative leap. ZZ. The body moved vigorously. The blood stains on the surface left traces of blood on the crazily collapsed Waz deck. Roar. In the next second, his mouth opened, and his weak body unexpectedly burst into an angry roar. I want food. The roar turned into such a sentence. Those humans who were silent in the joy of victory, while Yi-Bei spoke, all of them resounded in such a low and strange voice at the same time. It's not just them. This is true for everyone in the world. A U.S. national who has no time to surf the internet, is carrying a gun and carrying his accomplices, and is constantly sweeping the supermarket. Mo Ming has such a voice in his mind, leaving him blank. A homeless man who was fleeing frantically in the underground passage also heard this sound, and his body was dull on the spot. Ah! In a remote corner of the street, after the disaster, the crime rate soared. In a small car, such screams were constantly made. The man looked angry, and the woman was numb. It's just that when they were moving towards the peak, the voice that appeared in their minds made their bodies chill suddenly, and they couldn't do any movements. A situation similar to this is happening all over the world. All humans, all conscious creatures. America, in the 51st District. Your Excellency, Mayor Murphy's, did you hear anything just now? What a terrible voice. Neo's body trembled slightly. He was also very excited just now, but when he said this, his expressions were all condensed. I heard. Trinina's face was pale. Me too. Morpheus opened his mouth slightly, his eyes widened, and a bad feeling arose in his heart. With the help of a group of intelligent robots, President Golden Retriever adjusted his sonic weapons and prepared to attack Donghai City. When the voice rang in his mind, he was also stunned on the spot. I've heard this sound. It's from that python. It's definitely his. He's still alive. After reacting, his voice trembled, and President Golden Retriever's face was full of fear. Wow. At the same moment, human beings all over the world unconsciously raised their heads slightly and looked at where Yi-Bei was. Get on the waz. Food, food, food. Yi-Bei moved. With his mouth open, he swallowed it towards a dead American soldier next to him without hesitation. Gulyalu. The speed was too fast. In the blink of an eye, the soldier turned into a part of Yi-Bei's body. Chi-Chi. As the first soldier was swallowed, Yi-Bei's body recovered a bit, and his strength surged. Then the movement speed increased again. 10, 20, 100. During the collapse of the Wazi aircraft carrier, Yi-Bei swallowed more than 100 people in almost a blink of an eye. Vitality +1. Vitality +5. Body damage value +5. Mental strength +5. With Yi-Bei's continuous devouring, the various body values quickly recovered. After swallowing the U.S. soldiers who died 100 meters away, all these data returned to their peak state. The damage caused after being attacked by a sonic weapon was completely restored after a few breaths. Rumble. Moreover, after Yi-Bei's body fully recovered, the Wazi aircraft carrier was damaged and burned all over, and after 10 minutes at most, it would sink to the bottom of the sea. Another good thing was wasted. But this sonic weapon makes me even more interested. Ho-ho. Yi-Bei took a deep breath and felt his body's strength become more surging. Wow. The next moment, Yi-Bei dived into the sea without hesitation. The field of mental power is fully open. Okay. In the next second, Yi-Bei suddenly felt that the whole world had become different. System, what's the matter? My mental power seems to have become much stronger. Now I feel that I can communicate with humans all over the world. As long as I want, my voice can appear in every human's mind. After discovering this, Yi-Bei's body was suspended in the water, his voice full of doubts. The mental power field is fully open. This feeling is extremely clear. Sonic weapons have transformed the host's body. This transformation makes the host's body stronger, and the mental power coverage is also greatly increased. The reason why it can invade the minds of all humans at any time is because the host has been fused with this sound wave, and linking with the base stations constructed by humans around the world, it is like a human satellite, which can completely cover humans. The system explained. Base station, sound waves, mental power. To be honest, although Yi-Bei's current IQ far exceeds that of human beings, after hearing this answer, he still cannot understand what is going on. Forget it. Just know that I can communicate with any human at any time, regardless of distance. Yi-Bei spit out the letter. Who? Spiritual power domain coverage. Coverage. The 51st district, which was extremely hidden, was all exposed to Yi-Bei's sight. Your Excellency the President of the United States. I have to say that your sonic weapons and deadlight weapons are very powerful, but you too underestimated me. As the price of attacking me, I have accepted all the technology in the 51st district. Ch. While the body was moving fast, Yi-Bei realm released. The icy voice rang in the minds of President Golden Retriever, Murphy's, Trinina, and every human in the 51st district at the same time. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Even sonic weapons can't stop it. Yi-Bei was completely unimpeded in the scene next. President Golden Retriever and others. Their expressions are hard to see the extreme. Those American antique scientists stood on the streets of the 51st district in a daze, and Yi-Bei's voice also reached their heads. What happened today was a slap in the face. I think that human technology is powerful enough. But in the face of absolute power, it's not worth mentioning. Whoosh whoosh. Yi-Bei sneaked in very fast. With the ability to move freely underwater, no matter how deep the sea is, there is no difficulty for Yi-Bei. 1,000 meters. 2 kilometers. In the blink of an eye, I got 2 kilometers into the seabed. Hey, the 51st district is not only on the seabed, but also built under the seabed ground. This vast project can completely surpass the base on the Sahara Desert. Is this another masterpiece of the animal civilization? When he reached the surface of the seabed, Yi-Bei exclaimed slightly. However, this kind of thing can't stop Yi-Bei. Wow. In the next moment, Yi-Bei's tail plunged directly into the sea floor, and then a magical scene appeared. With strong muscle contraction ability, Yi-Bei's tail, like a silver-white metal electric drill, turned rapidly, and the speed was still extremely fast. Go deeper. This monster, he's coming in. Damn, he's coming in. Alala. In the 51st district, the sirens sounded, and in the weapons department, Morpheus groaned and almost lost control of his emotions. Just over an hour ago, when Neo came here with President Golden Retriever, Morpheus was confident. Full. Even the President of the United States is nothing remarkable in his eyes. There is even the courage to fight the possible alien life in the entire universe. But reality slapped him in the face severely. Yi-Bei's strength far exceeded his expectations. What to do? District Chief? Here we seem to be unable to stop him at all. This base is not safe. Trinina turned pale. 2 kilometers under the sea floor, and another 2 kilometers under the sea floor. The level of safety in the 51st zone is definitely the highest in the world. If this monster can really come here, then it can no longer be anywhere in the world. Stopped him, Neo murmured. The Sahara Desert, the 51st district of the United States, these two places can be attacked at will, then the Triangle of Death, Lake Nebo. Isn't it easy to get it? Thinking of this, Neo shuddered more and more. Immediately dispatch all the armed forces of the United States to the Western waters, and all the aircraft carriers stationed abroad will return. F-15, F-16, and F-22 fighter jets will immediately block the entire waters. In addition, nuclear alarms will be activated to unlock permissions. If necessary, nuclear strikes will be carried out immediately. President Golden Retriever finally started to contact the outside world. But the crazy thing about this guy is that these words were not told to a high-ranking U.S. official through his mobile phone, but directly on his encrypted phone, opened Twitter, and publicly released it. Millions of people are paying attention. After this tweet was posted, the consequences can be imagined. Ruined. Damn. Everyone think of a solution. Man, didn't you say that there are biochemical weapons in your research institute? Get them out quickly. If you can't think of a way, everyone will die. And those 51 districts that have been calm for decades, have been committed to scientific research, can extend their lifespan, and live a free life are completely chaotic today, and those scientists have changed the appearance of elegant gentlemen in the past. The longer the lifespan, the more fear of death. Feeling that death is about to come, they are all crazy. When these sounds are made, they all have an expression of incomparable fear and hysteria. As the 51st district fell into a panic. At this moment, all over the world, billions of people are silent. I thought that the Wazi could resist some time, but I never expected that in front of the mutant python, it would be vulnerable to a blow. How long has it been before the aircraft carriers sank to the bottom of the sea? The British Prime Minister looked desperate. It's really ironic. That monster killed a lot of humans. But there are more people killed with thermal weapons on the US side. This war was wrong from the beginning. The French president muttered to himself. His eyes were full of wood. However, these two leaders have just finished talking. The latest Twitter content sent by the US president was reported to them. After seeing President Golden Retriever's Twitter threatening to start nuclear strikes again, the muscles on their faces were all shaking crazily. US Hexagonal Building. Your Excellency, Mr. President has just released the latest news on Twitter. Are we really going to implement this? A man with the appearance of a secretary, with a very serious expression, confirmed that this is the order of the president? That tweet, there is no trace of intrusion. We have technically confirmed that there is no problem. There was an accident on the WAS. As the world's largest country, We, the United States, face the provocations of those monsters time and time again. This kind of thing is absolutely not allowed. Now the president has issued orders. We can just do it and make arrangements immediately. Go down. The nation's army is on guard. 20 seconds later, in the hexagonal building, the highest war order was issued, and the world was shaken. The United States, the White House. Although the Golden Retriever is not there, it is still in normal operation. All the staff and secretaries of state gathered together, and everyone looked solemn. The age of peace is too long. The sudden outbreak of war has left these people unrecovered for a long time. According to the tweets released by the president, it is basically certain that the monster is in the Western waters. Do you really want to be covered by force? Or use all the force of our US? That's the only way. This time, we absolutely cannot fail. Following the announcement of the Hexagon building, the US White House released the latest news. The whole country entered a state of war, and all troops stationed abroad returned quickly. Wow. In the sky, you can see a fighter plane roaring by at any time. The US fleets docked in ports around the world also returned quickly. The whole world is shrouded in dark clouds of war. But it's strange to say that the citizens of the major countries were in chaos. The crime rate soared, and the supplies were robbed. But after the United States declared war, the world's human beings have quieted down again, and order has begun to be automatic. Recovering. The United States is the strongest country in the world. When this behemoth is about to move, the world has absolute confidence in it. The external shock keeps on. Ch. But at this moment, under the seabed, eBay was not disturbed by the outside world at all and continued to accelerate toward the inside of the 51st area. 3 kilometers. 4 kilometers. Under the mental power domain, the outline of the entire 51st district slowly appeared in eBay's mind. This is really a magical place, and the area is large enough. If it's not underground, it's a separate world similar to the Death Forest. It's self-contained. When he was about to enter the 51st district, eBay was deeply shocked by what he had discovered. United States, in an independent villa. The head of the Lost Clan looked completely energetic at the moment. War is on. It's finally war. On this day, our family has waited too long. The patriarch was so excited that his body was trembling. When speaking, he picked up the phone and dialed quickly. The US is about to go to war, and the king let us sneak in. The human world is for now. Everyone is ready, as long as there is a chance. Help the animal gods as much as possible. The patriarch ordered. Those tribesmen who had completely integrated into the human world began to take action at almost the same time. Those who are good at calculators crazily hacked into the military systems of major countries. Those who are good at biology unceremoniously promoted on the internet that the United States launched a war will bring much disaster to the earth, shake the military spirit of soldiers around the world, and collapse from within. When these people all acted, a general trend immediately formed. And this is just part of it. After the US declared war, great changes have taken place in China and Donghai City. Golden Lion, Wong Won, Blood Moon, Guyu, Mutant Monkey King, Tiger King, 8 mutant blood pythons, and all kings of different mutant races all gathered together. Roar. The Golden Lion's body is in its greatest state at the moment. Nearly 10 meters tall, with golden hair, under the sunlight scattered between the living trees, it looks from a distance, full of explosive power and deterrence. When the mouth is opened, when the roar erupts, many other mutant creatures' bodies all trembling. I just got the news that our king is now in the US. And that group of dirty humans are going to attack the king. Guys, what do you think? The voice is deep and deep. When these words were said, the Golden Lion's eyes flashed with cold light. Follow Yi Bei from the experimental island. Coupled with continuous learning during this period of time, the Golden Lion is far superior to human beings at the level of wisdom and even speaks with a fascination. Chi. Wong Wen has a good relationship with Golden Lion. Hearing this, he snorted his letter with a murderous tone and said fiercely, "Humans, low-end creatures, not only have low IQ, but also have poor physical fitness. They are used to be the cheapest labor. They are all-time wasting and inefficient. I think their best use is to serve us as food. Now, these foods have reached our lips. but they want to resist. The best way is to let them have enough lessons to swallow all these resistance. Swallow. Swallow. Kill them. Humans deserve to die. After Wong Wen finished speaking, a large number of mutant beasts around all screamed. Their eyes brightened, and these guys were very excited whenever they mentioned a chance to swallow humans. The East China Sea is basically stable, and everything is proceeding in normal order. Since the US has provoked and sent all its force to the Western waters, it just so happens that we will also go there for a full-scale war. The mutant monkey king stepped forward, determined. Tony is also standing in this team right now. Recently, I have studied a lot of weapons. In addition, when I occupied the East China Sea, I also controlled a large number of ships, and the anti-gravity technology has been completed. If there is a lot of manpower to help in the East China Sea, I have enough confidence in 1 hour. Inside, all ships are equipped with anti-gravity engines and propellers, and it only takes up to 2 hours from here to the United States. When he said this, Tony showed a lot of enthusiasm. As a scientist, there is nothing more to be proud of than the things you create and give play to the value he deserves. Anti-gravity technology can not only completely change the human world, but also has unprecedented help to the leap of civilization. When Tony said this, he even imagined thousands of ships flying in the sky. Great! Let those humans install anti-gravity engines right away. By the way, those ships are all equipped with the latest weapons, as many as there are. Guyu spoke. All the major races are ready. After the ship is equipped, we all set out again. Roar. Standing on the ruins of a pile of buildings, the golden lion roared and gave orders decisively. Booming. The next moment, Donghai City, which had been calm for a while, all shook. Rumbling sounds can be heard everywhere. All major races converge. As long as the anti-gravity spaceship was assembled, all of them attacked. Except for the lost tribesmen and mutant beasts. Above the Sahara Desert. Puff, puff, puff. Huge roots continue to emerge from the charred sand. This feeling is so cool. Wow. As the branches and leaves absorb the sunlight, the Sahara consciousness is fully recovered. If eBay were here, he would definitely be amazed. The green body of this living tree slowly turned dark, and the surface of every tree vine bloomed, with metallic luster like a sharp blade. Even in the tree poles, some nuclear radiation faintly gushes out. The most important thing is that the Sahara's IQ and mental power have been comprehensively improved. Apart from being unable to speak, the wisdom of this living tree is not weaker than that of human beings. Wow. As the roots drilled out of the Sahara, the roots that had been expanding underground after hearing Yi Bei's command before quickly drilled out. Many urban buildings were smashed into pieces by these roots in an instant. Humanity is going to wage war against the king. It's really a group of innocent beasts. Today just made them pay the price. Let them know who is the real leader on Earth. The spiritual power of the Sahara radiates. While rushing out of the ground, the roots link up the roots of other plants like a spider web. Poop. Ho-ho. Chi-chi-chi-chi. The whole process took less than a minute. More than 50% of the trees and plants on the earth were all controlled by the Sahara. As long as it was willing, it could also make these plants move and even kill people. But when the Sahara did this, they all did it quietly. Human beings are actively preparing for the war, completely unaware that nearly half of the human beings in the world are all monitored by surrounding plants, and they will be directly killed by those plants at any time. And in this case, the fighting spirit and self-confidence of human beings seem extremely naive. The United States, the West, and the deep sea 4 kilometers. Click. When Yi Bei came outside the last barrier of District 51, he did not hesitate. The spines appeared, just a light stroke, a click, and then a hole appeared in the solid protective cover. The next moment, Yi Bei with a swish drilled in from the breach. U.S. District 51. This is a completely new world. After Yi Bei drilled in, he didn't directly sweep and eat when he saw people. Instead, he covered the spiritual power domain and carefully investigated the situation again. Unbelievable places, so well preserved, can even be discovered by humans. Compared to the Lost Island, the ruins of the beast civilization found in the deep sea for the first time, or even the research base in the Sahara Desert, it's on par with here. Chi. Yibei vomited Shinzi and couldn't help muttering to himself. This 51 area looks very much like a leather squeegee through a toilet. Below is a huge semicircular space. In the middle, there is a channel made of glass that leads directly to the sea. According to visual observations, the total area of the 51st district is more than 30 square kilometers, which is larger than my death forest. 51 large villas with strange shapes. In each villa, there are corresponding scientists, and every the things studied in a villa are all very magical. Yibei continued to mutter to himself while observing. However, one thing that Yibei couldn't understand was that there was no trace of the devil's eye in this place. When Yibei was constantly scanning the field of mental power, he suddenly noticed a magical situation. Surprised Yibei. In a villa office, two old people are sitting at the moment. The two of them had gray hair, but their complexion was extremely ruddy, and their eyes were full of energy. Hey, Mr. Darwin, do you know the mutant beasts in the outside world? Those guys are said to be able to swallow the light of death and transform them into their own power. This is completely incompatible with your theory of evolution. An old man with glasses asked with a smile. The old man who was asked had a slightly blue complexion, frowned slightly, and his tone was slightly sarcasm. How old was it when the theory of evolution was proposed? At that time, I knew too little knowledge. If it is now, I won't make this kind of low-level mistake. But you, Newton, aren't your 3 laws of motion useless? As far as I know, those monsters simply ignore the quality and can even make big changes. Xiao, how do you explain this? I was just like you, and I was just talking about it at the time. This theory will be overthrown sooner or later. Darwin, I'm looking for you now. In fact, there is one more thing. I heard that the monster is about to attack the 51st district. Do you have a way? Newton's expression began to get serious. When Yibei's mental power domain was scanned here, it was really shocked. Newton? Darwin? Isn't this the famous scientists in history? How could they still be alive? They are obviously not people of the same era, and they are still discussing academic together. Spit out Shinzi. Yibei's eyes couldn't help widening. A quick search of memories in my mind. Through the comparison between the faces of the two in the photos in the textbook and the memory, it was found that the similarity reached more than 90%. After being shocked by these two, Yibei only then began to carefully observe the humans in the 51st district. The creator of the theory of relativity, Einstein. The vaccination method, an internal medicine expert who has saved tens of millions of lives, Edward Jenner. The father of microorganisms, French scientist Pasteur. The discoverer of X-rays, the German physicist Röntgen. The father of computers, British scientist Turing. Pioneer of the Industrial Revolution, inventor of the steam engine, British Watt. Edison, Madame Curie, Archimedes. Too much. How did they do it? In history, all famous humans were concentrated here, and all these people should have died. Yibei looked more and more frightened. The appearance of this kind of thing was more shocking than his own transformation from a human to a python. However, after the shock, Yibei's eyes and head were all occupied by excitement and fanaticism. These guys, each of them symbolizes an era. With their help, the work of deciphering the civilization of the beasts will be faster, and even the speed of technological development will be unprecedentedly improved. These guys, every one is an unprecedented treasure, Yibei said excitedly. I wanted to swallow all the people here. But now Yibei changed his mind decisively. In the weapons department, he has come in. What to do? Are we all dead? President Golden Retriever looked at the screen. After Yibei broke through the defenses of the 51st district, his face was pale and his body was trembling violently. He has the wealth of an enemy country, and he holds the greatest power in the world. He definitely doesn't want to die like this. Morpheus took off his sunglasses and revealed his emotionless eyes. It's not going to die. If the monster is really wise, he should be aware of the importance of the 51st district. Kill us and leave us far behind. We are valuable. Mayor, we. Trinina's voice was hoarse, and the 51st district was invaded so quickly, which was something she never dreamed of. As for Neo, who is responsible for the safety of the 51st district, at this time, his body is like being struck by thunder, unable to move. His mind is even more blank. In the 51st district, all are some elderly people, scientists, plus intelligent machines, and the environment here is not suitable for war. Once the fight really starts, it will only be destroyed in the end. That monster killed so many people, and even the USS was destroyed. I don't think he will let us go. District Governor, President, Deputy District Governor, I think what we are going to do now is move here as soon as possible to avoid further losses. After a long time, Neo reacted, took a deep breath, gritted his teeth, and said, this was the best way he could think of. Yibei is not afraid of missiles or bullets. Those intelligent lives in the 51 area pose no threat to him. But, just after their conversation, in the next second, a cold voice resounded in their minds. To be honest, my understanding of the 51st District of the United States has always felt that it is a modern secret military base. Until now, I have come in here, and I don't know what magic and incredible is. Don't worry, as long as you don't take the initiative to find death. I will not kill anyone here. But, starting today, each of you will do something for me. The voice is cold, without any emotion. And this voice is even more commanding. At the same time, it appeared in the minds of every human being in the 51st District. 51 District is not very big. The number of scientists inside is not very large. However, not everyone knows what happened outside. As great scientists in history, many people have been carrying out research and invention for 10 years after having a large number of lives. Take Einstein and Edison as examples. Huh? What's the matter? Is it really old? An inexplicable voice appeared in my mind. This is an illusion. Edison was holding a piece of black metal in his hand, with electric lights shining on it. But these electricity did not harm his body. When a sound suddenly appeared in his mind, the guy was unresponsive, and he slowly raised his head for a long time and shot around the room. More than 10 seconds later, this sentence came thoughtfully. Thump. When Einstein heard this sound, his legs softened and he knelt on the ground with a plop. His hands made a cross on his chest. His eyes were full of piety. God. It must be the manifestation of God. Only God can transmit my own voice into human consciousness. I have lived for so many years and finally have the opportunity to face God. It's great, it's really great. God, please hug me that I must complete this research. God, please tell me, is there any speed in this world that exceeds the speed of light? Some of these sounds were almost crazy in his mouth, and the scene was extremely funny compared to his appearance. Fortunately, there is no one else in the room. Otherwise, seeing Einstein look like this, the wind will definitely be messy. But from another perspective, Einstein was a theist himself, and he believed in Christianity. It is understandable to be able to say such things. Wow. Except for them, most of the scientists had normal reactions. They all rushed out of the institute and stood on the streets of District 51. Did you hear the sound just now? It seems someone is talking. I heard it. It's a weird sound, but I was doing the experiment and didn't understand what it was. Damn it. I seem to have discovered something extraordinary. Who is it? Come out to me. The scientists who didn't know the mutant beasts were coming shouted one by one when they stood on the street. And outside the weapons department, many people were surrounded. Among them is Turing, the father of computers. The mutant beast has entered the 51st District. Your Excellency, you must find a way. Damn, his guy is threatening us. Mayor, come out. Tony, Trinina, you come out too. The scientists who knew the truth had bloodshot eyes and looked very excited. Zizi. After Yibei entered the 51st area, his body fell steadily and then moved quickly here. Discovering the reactions of those scientists, Yibei couldn't help but feel a little funny. Einstein, Edison, these two guys are really calm. They say that every scientist is an extremely crazy guy, but from looking at it now, they are no different from ordinary humans. But their courage is commendable. Whizzing. Yibei's voice fell. The body turned into a silver-white shadow. 10 seconds later, Yibei's figure appeared directly on the widest street in the 51st District. The streets are full of people. Whoa. Originally, the voices in these people's mouths were constant, but at the moment they saw Yibei, everyone closed their mouths unconsciously. When they looked at Yibei, their eyes turned out not to be afraid, but to keep shining brightly. This situation made Yi Bei quite surprised. There must be someone who knows who they are, but they don't even have a look of fear. Silver-white little snake. What kind of species it is? There seems to be a layer of metal armor on its body, a creature that has never been seen. Could it be this guy who spoke just now? This is the legendary mutant beast. First to break the silence, it was a gray-haired old man who came out. His eyes kept shining. When speaking, I didn't know where the courage came from, and walked towards Yi Bei's direction with a slight trembling body. And this old man, Yi Bei could tell who it was at a glance. It is Darwin who wrangled with Newton before. It's really him? The body can get bigger and smaller at will. Ignore the mass. Then after getting bigger, will the density decrease? Newton couldn't help it anymore, speaking in his mouth, and walked towards Yi Bei. Excuse me, can you fly? Well, can I draw some blood to study it? Unbelievable guy. I have an IQ test here. Is it convenient for me to test it for you? I'm really curious to what extent your IQ has reached. By the way, monster, can your body be immune to toxins? Does that mean that AIDS can also be overcome? With the lead of Darwin and Newton, the surrounding scientists all seemed to be crazy, and they surrounded Yi Bei, yelling constantly. The fear in his eyes is all occupied by excitement and curiosity. No wonder every scientist is a veritable lunatic. These guys, it really surprised me. Yi Bei slowed down. He doesn't have any good feelings for human beings, but when he came here, after seeing these guys, he felt that there are actually some lovely guys in this world. At least these people are like this. However, Yi Bei will never forget his main purpose of coming here. Everyone, I can understand your curiosity, but I'm sorry, from now on, all of you will do things for me. Then I will give you enough opportunities and time to do what you want to do. Chi. Yi Bei spit out the letter. This time, no voice was transmitted through mental power. When he opened his mouth, it was hoarse, but incomparably standard English, directly and fluently from his mouth. Wow. The voice fell. These scientists were shocked once again. Some famous biologists, with their eyes wide open, as if they were about to swallow Yi Bei alive. Yi Bei's appearance had once again subverted the knowledge in their minds, and they wanted to rush to Yi Bei immediately. Research. However, just as the scientists' eyes were lit with green light, a slightly discordant voice suddenly came from far away from the street. The king of mutant beasts, we are humans, and you are beasts. Do you think it is possible to let humans do things for your beasts? The voice trembled with anger. HHHH. The next second, the scientists on the street, as well as Yi Bei, all looked towards the sound source. 51 area, at the door of the weapons department. Wow. The scientists around here squeezed each other, and then suddenly dispersed, making a clattering sound. Morpheus, Trinina, Neo, and President Golden Retriever walked out of it with very ugly expressions. Mayor, that monster is coming. Mayor, what shall we do next? Damn, I don't want to die yet. I still have a lot of research to complete. After seeing Morpheus, these scientists all shouted loudly. As for President Golden Retriever here, no one paid attention to him at all. They didn't even look at him. This situation caused President Golden Retriever's mouth muscles to twitch severely. Since he ran for the President of the United States, he has been the focus no matter where he goes. Now this situation has completely changed. Quiet, everyone be quiet. President Golden Retriever stepped forward and shouted solemnly. Wow. But none of the scientists around him paid any attention to him. When Morpheus saw this, he stepped forward. Slowly raise your hand and press down. In the next instant, the noisy scene fell silent in an instant, and a needle could be heard when it fell on the ground. When President Golden Retriever saw this, there was a cold light in his eyes, but when he looked at Morpheus, a lot of doubts appeared in his heart. This dark-skinned and large man seemed to be more than just the district chief. Everyone, I know it's coming. In fact, when our 51st district was established, we had already planned for the worst, didn't we? The more this kind of moment, the more calm everyone is. Since if it comes, just talk to it. Morpheus spoke, his voice determined. Okay. The surrounding scientists glanced at each other and unexpectedly nodded their heads one by one, agreeing with Morpheus's words. The fear and panic in his eyes quickly calmed down. These people, what is going on? President Golden Retriever was completely confused. Make President Golden Retriever even more daunting behind. Murphy's took the group of scientists, Trinina, Neo, and others, and walked toward the street. When Yi Bei and the small state of the monster appeared in his sight, Morpheus also took the initiative to speak. The king of mutant beasts, we are humans, and you are beasts. Let humans do things for your beasts. Do you think that's possible? The voice has a strong momentum. President Golden Retriever stood beside him, and it was only at this moment that he realized that it seemed that this district chief named Morpheus was really very difficult. Trinina, Neo, also standing aside. When Morpheus spoke, they looked serious and said nothing. Oh. On Yi Bei's side, the originally funny scientists made him lose a lot of killing intent, but after hearing Morpheus's words, a cold killing intent suddenly burst out of him. Oh, this killing intent is too strong. Human beings are also a kind of animals. Although they are aware of danger, that instinct still exists. After feeling Yi Bei's killing intent, these scientists all calmed down and sweated on their backs. You mean, you still have the means to resist? If so, just take it out. Chi. Yi Bei squinted his eyes and stared at Murphy's. The realm of mental power is constantly invading into this guy's consciousness. Okay. Immediately afterwards, Yi Bei's eyes stared slightly. System, what's going on? With my current mental power, there will be basically no obstacles to invading a human being, but this guy's consciousness is like a copper wall and iron wall, and there is nowhere to penetrate. Yi Bei said quickly and systematically in his mind. Very simple. This Murphy's is not just a simple human. The system answered calmly. Not human. Yi Bei's eyes condensed. This result made Yi Bei quite surprised, because whether it was the naked eye or the mental power domain coverage, the Morpheus in front of him was no different from human beings. Then what is he? Yi Bei couldn't help it anymore. His heartbeat started to speed up. Knowing the information about the civilization of the beast god, and having been in contact with the star snake, Yi Bei unknowingly had a lot of expectations for alien creatures. Of course, the most important thing is that the number of evolution points and gene points possessed by alien creatures far exceeds that of human beings. If Yi Bei wants to evolve more powerfully, he must contact them. Human body, digital consciousness. Let's explain it in another way. This Morpheus is actually a finished intelligent program, and then through technological means, a human body is created and digital consciousness is implanted in the head. The system did not conceal any explanation. So it's like this. Yi Bei suddenly realized. Morpheus, try it and you'll know. Give me all. The voice fell. Wow. In the next second, in the entire 51 zone, there were constant rattling vibrations and metal crashing sounds. President Golden Retriever was puzzled. What's the matter, Mayor Murphy's? What have you gone? No one answered. The scientists around were also very neatly let to the sides of the street, all with serious expressions. Trinina and Neo took a step forward and guarded Murphy's. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she was able to save her life at any time to protect Murphy's. There are a large number of intelligent robots here. These scientists who originally died, if they are not wrong, copied their consciousness before they were alive, and then used some technology to recreate a body. Because of digital processing, you as the center between them, able to control everyone present. Morpheus, are you created by the animal civilization or are you from another civilization? Seeing a large number of intelligent beings rushing over, Yi Bei was still extremely calm. Chi. A scarlet letter came out of his mouth, and when he looked at Morpheus, he said decisively, Intelligent life, if it is swallowed, I don't know how many evolution points and gene points it will bring. Yi Bei is very looking forward to this, and the technology that Murphy's has mastered makes Yi Bei feel excited. Consciousness shifts, and the flesh is born again. The starry sky snake said this at the beginning. As long as you master this technology, any life can theoretically live forever. Morpheus is an intelligent life. This is absolutely confidential. Hearing what Yi Bei said, his eyes were filled with surprise, and he couldn't figure out why Yi Bei was so clear. As for President Golden Retriever, his pupils shrank sharply. His gaze became more and more unnatural when he looked at the scientists around him, Morpheus and others. To be the President of the United States, his IQ is not bad. What Yi Bei said just now, as well as Morpheus' reaction, made him think of terrible things, but it made him more excited than ever.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.